What up, Fantasy World? Back again. Week 11 waiver pickups. We got 4 teams on a bye this week, so quite a few teams. Um, there's some pretty good pickups, I feel like, this week.
Not bad.
More than usual. Not bad. I mean, better than some weeks have been.
Hmm.
But so there's some to look forward to, I guess. But as far as buys, Giants, Seahawks, Packers, and Titans. Um,
A lot of upside leaving.
some big names.
Yeah.
Some big names on those teams.
Yeah, you're gonna have some holes to fill this year,
Definitely.
or this week rather.
Um, yeah,
Yep.
might as well hop right into it. Starting with the QB position. Um, Number one guy I like is Nick Foles,
Damn
rostered in
it.
19 19%. He's coming back from he was activated from IR, and
Yep.
he's going to return to his starting duties. They're benching Gardner Minshew, unfortunately, um, and he's got a great schedule to finish out the year, especially week 15 and 16 against the Oakland Raiders and Atlanta Falcons. And in the past, he's been somewhat reliable in fantasy, so he could be a solid option for your team.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely the best option out there available. Notable
Yeah,
mention to me
definitely.
would be Kyle Allen if you could pick him up.
Yeah.
Versus Atlanta this week. That's a sure thing. That's about as good as it gets right now. Atlanta defense is just absolute garbage right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just threw for over 300 yards this past week too, so that's
Bingo.
encouraging.
Yeah.
So Ryan Tannehill, I'm still on him. You know, he's continues to
Oh,
impress with at least 19 fantasy points every week, and he's on a bye this week, but he could be your weekly starter if you're struggling in that position. I mean, he's been solid
yeah. If you're
for
tight,
four
yeah.
straight weeks now.
Yeah, if you're
So
talking about dropping a player, um,
yeah,
and picking up, yeah, for the future. But um,
just
Ryan
kind of
Fitz,
what's out there, really.
yeah. Although he is facing Buffalo this week, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on a fantasy tear. Um,
Yeah, yes, he is.
but the thing is with him is he's facing Buffalo this week, but the rest of his schedule afterwards, if you're set for the playoffs, Ryan Fitzpatrick might be a playoff winner for you if he's still available. Ending last 3 games against the Jets, the Giants, and the Bengals.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta like that.
Yeah.
Those are
Um.
softballs for
Yeah.
sure.
It's about as good as it gets for somebody who can get you through the playoffs. Look to pick him up. Um. Yeah. Other than that, that'd be all the QBs I had. Number one for me was Nick Foles.
If you're desperate, Sam Darnold. Um, Looks like he finally got over his ghosts this past week and finally had a good game. And he's got a juicy matchup against the Redskins this week, so could be a potential streamer, especially if you're desperate at that position.
You'd have to be
Just
like
one last kind of
really, really,
yeah.
really, really, really desperate. For
I
me,
mean,
Sam Dart, there's just nothing there for
oh for
me.
sure. I mean, he's been very disappointing, absolutely. But like if I had to pick between like him or Baker, I
Well,
think I'm going Sam Darnold this week.
yeah, Baker's just been the bottom of the barrel. And the sad
I
thing
know.
is, if Sam Darnold had Baker's weapons, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah,
Indeed.
very true. But yeah, that's all I got for QBs too. So moving on to running backs. Number one guy, Brian Hill, Atlanta Falcons, rostered in only like 3% of leagues right now.
I knew
Um,
he was going to
but
get brought up, but I would avoid. Just of again, the
really,
Falcons are just bad. Yeah, I felt comfortable enough just dropping Devontae Freeman. I mean, they're just bad. He's not going to produce with that offensive line. I don't see it.
well, I mean, he's gonna get the workload. You know, with Ito Smith
Mhm.
on IR, Devontae Freeman, you know, leaving the game early this past week and looking like he's gonna miss a few weeks. And when Hill came in, he got 22 touches
Mhm.
and a receiving touchdown. Um,
Fluke.
he only got 60. He only got 60 yards rushing against the Saints, but the Saints D is pretty solid.
Yeah.
But you like all those touches, and he's playing the Panthers this week, which
Yeah.
um, that D is exploitable, especially against the run. So I like Brian Hill. You know, I'm honestly considering putting him in my flex this week. I really
Nice,
am,
nice.
even in our shallow league.
I in our league or in a different league?
In our league.
That's deep.
Because right now I'm running with it is deep, and I'm running with at my flex. I'm running with Terry McLaurin right now,
Mm-hmm.
which
That ain't a bad option.
he's been a little iffy lately, and
Yeah,
I'm just dealing with buys this week, so filling that position.
yeah.
Juju
But
Smith-Schuster hasn't done that great, so I don't know if I don't really want to start him.
right. Darius
Um,
Geis has been added to the 53-man roster earlier this week, so
yep.
he's gonna be a go. And yeah, really, it's just dependent on if what role they have for him. If he gets Chris Thompson's pass catching duty. Other than that, Frank Gore's
And
still available. At least high touchdown upside, but he's been known to get it, and versus Miami this week. So Frank
mhm.
Gore, yeah, there's a couple of better. I don't know. I would have no faith in Atlanta right now. I wouldn't go in there with high
Yeah.
hopes.
No, but you could do better. I mean, you could do worse. I should say.
Hmm.
There are definitely worse options out there.
Definitely worse
Um,
options, yes.
Another guy I want to throw out there is J.D. McKissick.
Hmm.
Ty Johnson left the game early, and then unless the Lions bring in another back, he's likely going to get a hefty workload, and he already gets a lot of work in the passing game. So, um, yeah, I like J.D. McKissick this week.
Indeed. Yeah, be all I have on the running backs.
Yeah, me as well. Moving on, wide receivers. Um, gonna throw out James Washington for Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hmm.
He's been hot the past 2 weeks with 10 catches and a touchdown, and he's been
Hmm.
way more effective than Juju has. Um, and he doesn't face a threatening defense until like week 15.
Hmm.
So he could be an option if you have Juju on your roster and you've been struggling with him. He could be placement for you.
Did Tyreek Hill come back on the field? Because that's where I was gonna go. Is Mecole Hardman? Uh,
Um, I think he did. I'm not. I didn't see him. I haven't seen him pop up on the injury report at all this week lately.
Indeed. Because I was
So
off the top
I
of my
would.
head, I was thinking Mecole Hardman, right? But other than
That
that,
play was crazy. That play was awesome.
mm-hmm.
He just blew by everyone.
Other than that, my number two would be Danny Amendola. Lions. Thing is, they're going up against a bunch of bad, or not bad, but bad matchups for them defenses. But that's the beauty of it, is they're gonna have to pass a lot to win. And Danny Amendola's quietly been getting it done all year. He's been have hit or miss really, but yeah, Dallas, Washington, and Chicago. They're just going to have to pass a lot. Chicago's not the same Chicago they were earlier in the year, but or last year. But Danny Amendola,
Agreed.
just always finds a way to get open. Still has it. Would be my number two wide receiver to get.
Nice little option. I'm liking Darius Slayton.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling Shepard's likely coming back later rather than sooner. He could be shut down for the year. Who knows? And it seems like Slayton and Danny Dimes has a good real connection. I know they're on a bye this week, but he could be a nice little stash. He just popped off for 10 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns this past week, so he's been pretty solid lately.
Zach Pascal's also been another one who's been pretty solid. He's been getting fed the ball just on high pass volume from uh damn, who was I talking about now?
Pascal.
Yeah, Zach Pascal. Jacoby Brissett has been passing the ball, and it's been Brian Hoyer. Um,
I mean, either one, whoever's been in there, he's been getting the ball.
yeah, always kind of hear his name. He did kind of have an off game last game, I feel, but yeah, 2 for 26. But yeah, that's all much better because it's been pretty much one off game, one good game, one off game, one good game. That's his pattern. In Jacksonville is you can pass on Jacksonville now. They're not the same as since Jalen Ramsey left.
Yeah, they're not really Saxonville as much anymore either.
Yeah, I just feel like you're gonna cover all the known names, so I'm trying to dig deep now. Throw some curveballs in there. Yeah, just names.
One guy.
Yep.
What's up?
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say one guy to kind of keep an eye on is Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Especially depending on Emmanuel Sanders and George Kittle, because Sanders left that game early and George Kittle obviously didn't play. And depending on if they play this week, he could be a worthy add. Again, going against the Cardinals D, which is pretty soft, and Deebo's coming off his first career 100-yard game, and he'll probably be the workhorse receiver if they both finish.
One last name I'd throw out there would be Patriots wide receiver rookie N'Keal Harry. Was inactive for his first game back week 9, but coming off the bye week 10, has had another week to get rested, come in, and versus Philadelphia, if he's going to get involved, if he is healthy, that's going to be a game to welcome him in. He might be a player that might possibly finish top 20 wide receiver easily if it's the way Tom Brady likes to welcome wide receivers into the mix like he did Antonio Brown. If that does happen, where they just force feed him. Yeah.
And they drafted him pretty high, I feel like. So they did that for a reason. Pick. So he's got the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
Yeah, Belichick doesn't draft you.
Definitely got the talent.
Doesn't use you when you're available. Sony Michel hasn't panned out exactly the way has
There's
hope.
A few exceptions.
But it's also just Bill Belichick how he uses his running backs. But that situation is going to clear itself up. He has a lot of contracts to go through next year, so that'd be a good stash. That's the only reason I picked him up, is just as a stash to see what contracts the Patriots do end up letting go.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting young before the end of the year. That's my end of the year tanking strategy.
Oh, did you pick him up in our league?
I did. I picked him up in our league.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Did not see that.
Yeah,
just a nice little stash.
I dropped Freeman for him. Yeah, just to get, like I said, just to get young going into next year.
Oh, you mean Michelle?
Sony Michel. Mm-hmm. Patriots, like I said, they just have a lot of contracts to work through next year, and they could end up dumping James White. Rex Burkhead could be gone.
Oh, I thought you meant you picked up N'Keal Harry.
No,
I did see the Sony Michel pickup.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you're really digging deep.
No, that's a stash till next year, just to see what contracts work out, how the Patriots work out. Sure. James White, I believe, is coming up on a contract year, and Burkhead also.
Oh, definitely. No, it's a nice play, for sure.
Just to see what happened. I mean, in our league, I'm one loss away from done for the year anyway. So, if that's the case, man, if I get 1 or 2 more years, watch me pick up fucking what's his name too, Saunders for Philadelphia, just to stash him for next. I'm just gonna stash everybody till next year. See who I can move in the off season.
I get stash them all.
Stash them all.
Just drop your kicker and defense and just stash players. In
just stash young players till next year's draft.
Don't even start a D or kicker for less.
Yeah, just I mean, if I lose 1 or 2 in a row, fuck it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that's about all I have for receiver.
Yeah, that is. Do you even dare want to try tight ends?
I got a few options. I mean, it's always bare, but there's always a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here.
There is. A lot available, yeah.
So I do want to bring up OJ Howard, because did he finally had a solid game.
Howard.
I do. That's why I wanted to bring him up.
Oh, I know.
Because I know you have a little beef with him.
Fuck OJ Howard.
But 4 for 7 targets and a touchdown. Could he finally be usable?
I mean, yeah, definitely. They finally remembered he was alive.
I know, right? They like tried to give him the ball. It seemed like.
Yeah, no, they really
so
did.
I hope the trend continues because he is such a talented player. Like
he is super.
He's honestly almost like a receiver. You know, like.
If Bill Belichick calling them at the trade deadline, like, hey, if you don't want to use them, we'll take them. If that doesn't wake up the whole operation there, that this guy might actually be good, that Bill Belichick wants him, I mean, it's for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like Cameron Brate getting more work than him.
Oh, my God. It's just.
I like the name, but like, come on.
But, yeah.
No, for sure. I hope it continues, but it's definitely something to wait and see. I can understand the hesitation.
Fuck OJ
on him
Howard
because he's been complete poop the entire year. Except
they just don't even recognize he is even an entity. He is the ghost that Sam Darnold's been seeing. He's just
exactly.
Just yeah.
Exactly.
It's been so bad. But what can you do? But yeah.
Someone who's been more consistent though.
Yeah.
Kyle Rudolph, another solid day.
Mm-hmm.
He's got at least 3 catches in 5 straight games and 4 touchdowns over that stretch. With Thielen still sidelined, he should see more continued work. He's been slowly improving, and I like that.
As been Kirk Cousins, for as much trash as I talked about him at the beginning of the year, Kirk Cousins is finally starting to show.
Well, it helps that his receivers talk trash too.
Well, yeah, if that doesn't wake you up, I mean, but even that, it's not. He was way too game man. He was being way too much of a game manager at the beginning of the year, where now he just airs it out, in which he should. TJ Hawkinson just barely on our threshold. Yeah, go ahead.
Really? He's still. I was just gonna say he has more weapons. I feel like on this team too, so he should be airing it out.
Yes. Yeah.
As opposed to the Redskins, who are just
where he had to manage games to try to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. But sorry, going back to TJ.
Mm-hmm. He's just on the threshold, but if you can grab him, go ahead. And another one to bring up, Jacob Hollister came out of nowhere for Seattle.
I was going to bring him up too.
But he's on a bye week. This is the second game. But what happened to what's his name? Yeah, didn't they lose a tight end?
Yeah, Will Dissly.
Yeah, Will Dissly.
He went on IR. But Will Dissly emerged in that role, and I can see Hollister doing the same. He's been on a tear this past couple weeks.
Yeah, it don't matter who you are right now. Jacob or Russell Wilson's finding you if you're open.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're in that tight end spot, it's not going to be Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, he's definitely worth an add and stash during the bye, especially at that ever hurting tight end position.
Ever hurting.
I guess one more guy that I should bring up is Tyler Eifert. He scored double-digit fantasy points in 2 straight weeks. I know he's a stretch, but he's got a good matchup against Oakland this week. He's still a boom-bust player, but he's been known to go on hot streaks in the past, and this could be one of those streaks. It's a tough position, and it makes sense if you're in need of a tight end. So,
and just while we're on tight end subject, only because he was picked up in my work league also, I just want to say Gronkowski is not coming back, people. He was. He was picked up in my work league.
I picked him up in my dynasty league like week 1.
Yeah.
And then like after 2 weeks, I was like, I need the spot. I
Yeah,
dropped
yeah,
it
yeah. No,
because he wasn't coming back.
he's hot.
He wasn't coming back after 2 weeks.
No, there's reports now that he will make a decision by November 30th if he is going to come back for the Patriots stretch. But he's
I
not.
thought he signed like a. I thought he signed like a TV deal with like CBS or something.
He did, yes, but
Yeah.
they'll let him go play football. It'll be fine.
Well, yeah, that's what Jason Witten did though.
Yeah.
So
Just whatever
He was
3-year
on.
deal they got him on, it'll just roll over. Just you're coming back next year. But
yeah.
just my own opinion. Gronk's not coming back. He's just not. He's having fun
No,
being
he's-
retired and being Gronk. And he's man, have you seen him? He's just
I mean,
super slim.
he's skinny.
Super
is.
slim.
I mean, he could come back. He could come back, but I don't see it happen this year.
Nah,
Not at all.
no.
Definitely down. Definitely could happen in the next 2 years, but just not this year at all.
They'd have to bring him in like
I could
as a
see it.
wide out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be
Get
all I
him on
got
a-
this week, boss.
Yeah. Well, I did want to bring up a couple of defenses though this week.
Ooh, curveball.
New York Jets. Yeah, I know. Throwing it at you.
Mhm.
New York Jets. They're playing the Redskins, who've been a mess this season, and competing for the worst team with the Bengals this year. So they're only rostered in like 22% of leagues. So
Mhm.
they're a worthy streamer. And then the Oakland Raiders, who are playing the Bengals this week, only rostered in like 2% of leagues. And the Raiders' defense has just gotten better and better as the year gone on. So I think they're a worthy streamer as well.
I'm seeing him as 54% owned right now in Yahoo leagues. But
Who?
Carolina versus Atlanta this week. If you can snatch, just go for Carolina.
Oh,
Anything. I'm so far off the Atlanta bandwagon. They are just a hot dumpster fire.
Hey, though, they played pretty well against
Dumpster fire.
New Orleans, though, this past week.
Dumpster
You got to give them credit.
fire. No, you don't.
They came into the Superdome and beat the Saints. That's impressive.
Yeah,
I do have to give.
Drew Brees ain't all the way back. It's all right.
Yeah,
It'll be all right.
no, for sure.
No, the fact that they got lucky and won one is more reason to say they're gonna be pooped the next week. No way that lightning strikes twice.
Hey, they can go 9-7 the hard way.
That's highly doubtable. Just the Falcons, no. They still have not rebounded
28-3.
from giving up that Super Bowl to Tom
28-3.
Brady. They just 28-3, and they have not been. Tom Brady destroyed Matt Ryan's confidence. He destroyed that franchise. He's yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
If you can get Carolina. 54% owned, right on our threshold. Yeah, just throw me a curveball there.
Yeah, I think that's 28-3. That's a good stopping point, I think, this week.
Yep. 28-3.
Go get that win.
Indeed.
Make it in the playoffs. We're almost there.
So hopefully I make it. Have a good one, everybody.